Hey guys, my name is Lyndon B. Johnson, and I'm here to draw my life. Or at least what I call drawings. Now let's start off way before I was born. Never mind, a little bit too early. I was born in Stonewall, Texas on August 27th, 1908. My father was Samuel Lee Johnson Jr., and my mother was Rebecca Baines Johnson. And then there's Lil Johnson. I had another brother and three other sisters. We were one big happy family. There was a nearby town of Johnson City, which was named after the Johnson family, known for farming and ranching. My father was a rancher and a part-time politician, but he did not inherit the family's ranching talent, and we ran into some financial difficulty, which made us lose the family farm. Fast forwarding to high school, I was not the best. I struggled in school, but I managed to graduate from Johnson City High School in 1924. I then enrolled at Southwest Texas State Teachers College, which is now Texas State University, and I participated in debates and campus politics. After graduating in 1930, I briefly taught school. I was really ambitious about politics, so in 1931, I won an appointment as legislative secretary to Texas Democratic Congressman Richard M. Kleberg. After being legislative secretary, I then relocated to Washington, D.C. In 1937, I campaigned successfully for the House of Representatives on a New Deal platform, aided by my wife, Claudia Alta Taylor, also known as Lady Bird. She later bought a radio station and then a television station, which made the Johnsons wealthy. After the Japanese bombing of Pearl Harbor in December 1941, President Roosevelt helped me win a commission in the U.S. Naval Reserve as a lieutenant commander. I served on a tour of the South Pacific and flew one combat mission. Not long into the mission, my plane was forced to turn back due to mechanical difficulty. Even though my plane was forced to turn back, I managed to receive a Silver Star Medal for my participation. After 6 terms in the House, I was elected to the Senate in 1948. In 1953, I became the youngest minority leader in Senate history, and then the following year, I became majority leader. By 1960, I had set my sights onto the White House. I ran into a young and energetic senator from Massachusetts, John F. Kennedy, who was nominated for president on the first ballot at the Democratic Convention. After the convention, Kennedy offered me the vice presidency, and I gladly accepted. On November 22, 1963, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas while traveling in a motorcade. I was a couple cars away when the shots rang out. Just a few hours later after the incident, I was sworn in as the 36th president aboard Air Force One on its return to Washington, D.C. Over the next year, I obtained enactment of the programs President Kennedy had been urging to do, a new civil rights bill, and a tax cut. Next, I urged the nation to build a great society, a place where the meaning of man's life matches the marvels of man's labor. In 1964, I won the presidency with 61% of the vote and had the widest popular margin in American history, more than 15 million votes. The Great Society program became my biggest agenda for Congress: aid to education, attack on disease, Medicare, urban renewal, beautification, conservation, and etc. In 1968, Congress passed the Civil Rights Act. Moving on to space, the country made spectacular explorations when 3 astronauts successfully orbited the moon in December 1968. I congratulated the astronauts by quote, "You've taken all of us all over the world into a new era." During my presidency, the crisis in Vietnam kept on rising. Despite my efforts to end communist aggression and achieve a settlement, fighting continued. The escalating war in Vietnam was consuming my presidency. By 1968, there were more than 500,000 US troops in Vietnam, and there seemed to be no end in sight. On March 31st, 1968, I shocked the nation by announcing that I would not seek re-election. I then left office in January 1969. While the Vietnam War was controversial during my presidency, it wasn't until after I left office that the true level of controversy was reviewed. The Pentagon Papers were splashed across the front page of the New York Times, indicating that the president has systematically lied to the American people about American involvement and actions in the Southeast Asian region. When I left office, peace talks were underway. I did not live to see them successful. Sadly, I died suddenly of a heart attack at my Texas ranch on January 22, 1973.